Put tails on that particular story. We're now joined by Brenda B.Yambo from FIDA Kenya to just give us the granular details of this particular case that has taken, of course, 7 to 8 years, as we've been informed by our reporters there. But good evening and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's been a long day, I know, in the corridors of justice today, but they always say the wheel of justice stands slowly, but grind exceedingly fine.
Yes,
It's been a long wait, and finally justice has been, of course, meted out to the late Sharon. Let's just begin from what FIDA's perspective was, that this verdict, as you described it, proves that nobody is above the law. Mm-hmm. Let's begin from there.
For a long time, we've been waiting for this judgment because as it started, you saw how political it turned out to be, and also how the victim's family, when there was so much pressure on them, and what will be the outcome of this. So at FIDA Kenya, for us, access to justice is the main thing. Regardless of the position and regardless of who you are, access to justice is our main aim. And for us, access to justice meant that the family was able to get justice through the pro bono legal system that we have. We engaged a pro bono advocate to be able to watch brief on behalf of the family so that they can be able to access justice.
Yeah, so you mentioned it was influenced by politics, and I'm just wondering, to what extent does, the influence of politics, wealth, social status also affect access to justice from your own assessment with this particular case?
From a greater perspective, you find that most of the time people feel justice is inaccessible, and it's only accessible to those who can be able to afford it. For those who cannot be able to afford legal fees, or perhaps they are not in a better position to be able to follow up on their matters, that justice will do away with it. But we are happy with this judgment because it has proven that the court is independent, that the process was independent, fair, and we had a survivor-centered justice system in terms of what the victims look at is in terms of justice to them.
Right, and we had, of course, this case attracting a lot of media attention throughout, the 8 years that has been ongoing. And I was also just thinking and wondering, how did media coverage influence public awareness, accountability, and even the pursuit of justice? Did you think this really aided in terms of meting out justice because it was in the full glare of the media, of which many say that the perpetrators were greatly shy because this particular incident that led now to the murder of Sharon will have leaked to the media, right? Of course, the pregnancy that wanted to be kept under wraps.
Yeah. I think for this particular judgment, from what we've heard from this particular judgment, before even the matter came out, the matter was already in the public, and they tried to have it sanctioned away from the public with the different meetings that were talked about in the judgment that was delivered. But for some reason, whatever they tried to hide was not able to hide for that long time. The matter eventually came out. The media picked it up, and it was a highly, like you said, publicized court process. And from what we could see, the media played a great role in terms of how the evidence was given, how the evidence was shared out, what came out of the transactions that we could hear, from what the evidence was given through the prosecution witness, the PW, how many were they, 42 of them, 81 exhibits. So the media, let's just say the media helped in terms of the trial. They were able to show the case, the evidence, bit by bit as the court process continued throughout the 8 years or 7 years and 10 months you talk about.